Greetings, everyone. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. And Happy New Year's, everyone! It's officially 2025, and this is officially the first video of 2025. So, yeah, and unfortunately, we don't actually have that many chapters as I kind of expected. There won't be that many chapters for the week that has New Year's in between, but whatever. We at least have more than last week with 4 chapters this week, unlike the previous 3 chapters, which hopefully will not result in 2 hour long video. Hopefully! Honestly, I'm a bit optimistic about this video because I don't think the amount of content that we really got from these chapters that came out is really that much substance in it, more long explanations on what's going on, which to be could result in a very long video, but I don't think there's that many things to really bring up. But anyways, we only know once we get into it, and now we're gonna start with "It's Time for Torture Princess 254, title Torture 254. So yeah, "It's Time for Torture "It's Time for Torture Princess" is back. Kinda odd they returned on New Year's, but to be fair, I think I think that's more of an issue with media's translation. Like, I don't think this chapter was meant to come out on New Year's. Well, to be fair, actually, I think in the West it probably came out close to New Year's, while previously it probably come in Japan it probably came closer to Christmas. But whatever, it's finally back. So yeah, I guess we are all excited for that. And but yeah, now there's a little joke at the beginning of the chapter with the narrator, or the little extra box that they have for people talk, or for the author to give their opinions on. But that's why we are starting. We are returned from the break by just a regular page. To start off with, nothing special. I guess the author was kind of thinking they would have like a color page. I guess because of all the holidays, they probably couldn't put it in or something. I don't really know exactly. But anyways, we start this chapter off with Princess talking with Torture about what kind of customs they have for New Year's. Torture is a bit confused about it because apparently in this world, the way that humanity, or at least I want to say the way that people celebrate from Princess's Kingdom New Year's is by dressing themselves up in costumes and all, this, but the way that the axe talks about it makes it sound like this is something that only she does, that she exaggerates to how many other people do. So it's kind of like one of those. Alright, is this just Princess talking out of her, or is this actually what they do? It's difficult to really say, but anyways, Prince asks about the costumes, and Torture says, "No, we don't do anything like that. We don't really have a tradition of that. So what she has done for the closest thing to a tradition that they have, or like something that could be considered a tradition, is that they drink a very specific tea that Torture remembers drinking when she was a child, and how she spent most of her time under a futon." And at her parents' place when she was a child. In contrast to Princess, who apparently is tradition in her kingdom is dressing up in her costumes and then jumping in the air as New Year's is about to happen, so you can say, "Oh, I wasn't on Earth when on New Year's," or something like that. Which X comes as, is this really the first thing you're gonna imagine as a representative of humanity? Which, I mean, to be fair, X, I'm pretty sure that the demon realm does have humans that live there. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've seen like a lot of like store clerks and all those that are humans, or at least don't seem to have anything particular about them that makes them look like they wouldn't be considered humans. But whatever. Maybe it's like a thing with these two kingdoms, between the demon kingdom and the princess kingdom, are actually in war, but every other place, which are literally like places that are a few meters away from one another, are very much completely calm. I mean, let's be sure about it. So with the amount of information that princess has given them, and how did not capitalize on, for the stupidest reasons, and the way how anything's kind of very chill about it kind of implies this state of war isn't really that dangerous. Quite frankly, it's kind of surprising that you two are even considered to be in a state of war. I mean, seriously, I'm pretty sure even like the highest ranking, they can break whenever they can. But yeah. Anyways, Princess, after hearing that there's this very specific tea they kind of that the demons drink, that was a tradition in in Hellhoard. Princess now wants to test this drink out because it would be kind of fun activity to do. As Torture's like, oh, fine, I'll contact my grandma because apparently Torture's grandma was the one that made this tea. So she was gonna call her, so they will be able to. So she'll come next week to give tea, and we cut to next week with Torture's grandma being there as she starts preparing the drink that's called Raitoha. Not certain if that's like a specific drink that exists in Japan or if this is just a made up is something made up for the comic for the manga because I'll be honest with the way that Torture makes this Raitoa song makes it seem like it is something that's made up specifically for this unless it's some kind of personal vendetta the author has against Raitoha. But yeah. Anyways, Princess then does the whole little like torture thing that she confuses a lot of like normal stuff for. Like how whenever Vanilla Chan wants to invite her on a date and Vanilla and Princess thinks, oh, this is your torture method, huh? Going ice skiing ourselves. That what you cunning Vanilla Chan. You knew I wanted to ice skate, so you brought me here for it. When in reality, Vanilla Chan just wanted to hang out. No, but yeah, I'm guessing it's like she wants to do it that, but this time she seems to be aware that she's making a torture out of nothing thing. So she says that she'll submit if this tastes very good. But then torture just looks at her and tells her, "Oh no, that would be unnecessary because this drink is awful. Like it's bitter. It tastes. It's just disliked. It is so disliked. It's actually the reason why it stopped being used as a tradition. The fact that it's a very disgusting drink." Which, as Torture starts to describe this drink in detail, Mint is like, what? Well, she doesn't say, but she kind of fixes it like that, like, what? But then Torture also goes into another aspect of this, right, Toha tea, and she explains that due to the all well, not materials, all the do the recipe, all the food that's required, or all the leaves that are required. It's actually very difficult to make this tea nowadays as well. So her grandma needed to go into the forest to go pick it all up for it, as well as they had to spend like 3 days preparing it. So it doesn't only taste awful, and apparently it also ruins cups because Princess then tries to get away from after she gets guilt tripped into 100% drinking it. She then tries to get at least small cups so she wouldn't have to drink too much of it. But Ocho explains that it basically ruins the cups. It's like the smell is gonna stay in the cups, and I think she also says that the stains, the little, you know how like after you drink tea, there's also a little like that extra thing that's like not ready to drink, it's kind of just like leftovers. Like that's kind of no. There's also like stains and stuff that stay in the cup. So Torch had to take special cups just so that it could drink this tea without ruining the regular cups. So Prince is now stuck drinking the full teacup, which, based on how that's described, yeah, you can see why she is against it. I kind of feel like Torture didn't tell her all this about the tea before and intentionally just to see how Princess would react towards it because I don't know. I feel like that's like the type of stuff that you should mention. But yeah, anyways, then we have uh, Princess, being guilt tripped because of the fact how much effort that its Torture's grandma put into making this tea. So she has to drink it now. And another aspect, the reason why the tea was considered a tradition at some point, or why it was ever used before it was people were like this tastes too awful to drink, was because apparently it's supposed to like be all the negativity. You're supposed to like drink all the negativity that was during the year, like it's supposed to represent all the negativity during the last year. So when you drink it and you uh, basically scream out at the end, because that's literally a statement that torture states. After when you drink it, if you start feeling like you have to scream of it, start screaming of it. It purifies you. So it's so disgusting that it literally causes you a negative reaction. So yeah, I Torture definitely kept her mouth shut about this. She definitely wanted to trick Torture Princess into drinking this thing. So yeah, that's supposed to be represented because like that's because the name of the tea that reference happiness, but that's mostly because of how you're gonna feel happy after the end of the year, which God knows that every year it feels like people would want even more and more just to get rid of the last year's horror. But then you get new horror next year, this next year that's coming, and it's just a repeat cycle. So yeah. Anyways, Princess is now guilt tripped into drinking this awful tea. She drinks it, she screams it out in pain, and we get a Happy New Year's from the author. So yeah, a simple chapter as you probably expect from Princess, and yeah, there's really nothing to talk about. It's just kind of like a little funny gag chapter. But anyways, after this simple thing, it's time that we go into bigness with 100 fans that really love you. You chapter 201, 100 Girlfriend Party Part 2. And this chapter is easily the most peak of them all. Why? We'll see very soon. You'll see. So anyways, we start with our obligatory recaps for whenever we have like multi-parters. There's in 100 Girlfriends, and there's nothing we talk about much of it. It's just again going the rules. Girlfriend throws a die, he lands in a number that everyone in the group moves for that many spaces. They need to get to a 200 chapters. So yeah, they need to get a lot of high numbers because they have some way to go. And the one who gets the die right now is Momoha. So Momoha throws the number and she gets a 2, which puts her into the reaction of a gambler because that's what she is. About, I lost big again. As non-tsundere Mei is there to comfort her girlfriend. I mean her lover. I mean her elder sister. I mean senpai. Yes, senpai. Let's call it that. So yeah, anyways, Momoha lands on a chapter where we get introduced to Kusuri's family, so she gets reduced to an 8-year-old. So we see an 8-year-old Momoha, as she's in young guns, and now wants to take a drink of that, but then 18-year-old Chio shows up, grabs the bottle away, it's like, no drinking for children. As Momoha starts acting like, well, her age in this instance, because she's now 8 years old, like, give me back my bottle of wine. As they have a little joke about Hakari and Matsuri, because like this looks like a adult making a child cry, but the child is Chiyo, who is now 18, and the adult is Momoha, who is now 80 years old, and now she's the one that's crying. So Matsuma makes a little comment about it's the other way around, love, because it's it's like a reverse, but whatever. Anyways, after Momoha's little secret, but don't worry, everyone. Rento has drink beer, alcohol, well, a bottle of alcohol for children. So he doesn't. So there is a non-alcoholic drink there that Rento has on his person. I'm guessing this is probably for Kurumi's sake because, well, let's be straight honest though. So Kurumi probably does get a desire for beer at least a couple of times if she's watching around Momoha. I mean, like literally, she just needs to watch. I mean, Kurumi is so into food or so desiring for food that she literally just watches a detergent commercial and she'll get a desire for food just if there's a few words that fit into some kind of food. Like that's like wasn't that literally? I mean, if I remember correct, that was literally how chapter 24 ended up with. She watched a detergent. No, wait. Was it detergent or wait? Actually, I think I'm confusing my chapters, but regardless, Kumi watched a detergent commercial and she got a desire for some type of food because it referenced because the way that Japanese write it, certain words can have inner meanings or can be taken in a way that, well, can reference other food, or like they have similar kanji or something. But regardless, Kurumi probably gets a desire for beer a couple of times, so they probably have a couple of. Renta has to keep a couple of non-alcoholic beers on his person, so Kurumi will not get hungry. So yeah, but anyways, enough about Kurumi. She'll come later. Now it's up to Kurane for her time to toss it. And then we have her saying, "It's like I'm tossing the die or anything," as she's literally in the process of throwing the die. Kiki is very excited by how abnormal Kurane is. And then I think it's a 7 or something, but it's whatever number is between Kusuri's family's introduction chapter to Kishika's chapter, because the next chapter is Kishika's introduction, which means Kishika thinks, oh, you gotta get a shiver of spirit. Surely that's the thing that you would get for me, but this is 100 girlfriend, so Karani doesn't get a shiver of spirit. She gets a mind of a baby. Which then offends Kishika saying, excuse me, but Shizuku points word saying, and she's like, you're excused. Because everyone kind of predicted that if there's gonna be a chapter with Kishika, it's definitely going to be the baby one. So yeah, Kurane is now a baby, and as you might imagine, Kurane's girlfriend Hakari looks at her and is currently very much into cute stuff, so she's like, I know this is Kurane's Nei-san, but she's so cute now! Must resist, must resist. But unfortunately for Hakari, Kurani has a mind of a baby. So all Kurani has to do is keep her thumb in her mouth like she had when she became a baby, tilt to a side and say, Mama. And Hakari loses it. She grabs Kurani and starts kissing and smooching and going all high on her ass. So, yeah, as you can imagine, we have the other characters be like, yeah, this ship is still going on strong as ever, I see. Like, it's actually kind of funny, I think we have Mimi, Ira, and 8-year-old Momoa be like, happy for you, we are so happy for you two. So, yeah. Why was her first thought kissing Karane on the mouth? I mean, it wasn't said that Hakari only did that when Hakari was sick as a baby? Well, whatever. She smooched Karane for a little while. Anyways, then we have Rin throwing the die. As I think she got 10, which then lands on the equipment chapter when all the characters were kind of acting like modern weapons and all that, which I think was before Rin was introduced. But anyways, Ring becomes an equipment, which in this case is a club, and she's in Anano's hands. As then Iko, Rin, and Nano, as if they are hive mind, all know what they have to do. So Nano grabs Rin. Iko turns around, sticks her ass out, and Nano starts slamming into Iko's with Rin's face. As we get a shot of them doing that for a while. We all know that Rin has an unhealthy obsession with violence and gore and all that type of stuff, but we never actually kind of. It's more like the first time that we saw like how perverted Rin kind of is when she's essentially happy about having her face be shoved into an ass. Oh, if someone would break how horny the characters in 100 Girlfriends are, I think Rin is now reaching more on the top tiers. Which is kind of funny considering the fact that she's supposed to be one of the younger girlfriends, but whatever. Anyways, after Rin, we then have Kurumi who throws a die and she gets another 10. And this one's kind of like pretty, considerably more normal comparably to the rest of the chapter, well, to the rest of the transformation the girlfriends have, because Kurumi just gets on the Mai's chapter where she was not introduced, because Mai is one of those characters that's been shown multiple times before she became a girlfriend, but Mai becoming a girlfriend chapter, as we have Kurumi now needing to act like a little sister to everyone. So she's like, just kind of awkwardly like, do your best, big bro, big sisters. So, yeah. Which, it's just me, or does it feel like the author really likes Kurumi as the, like, little, I guess not child, like the what would be the right term to use? The author really likes Kurumi as the. Okay, I think the author really likes Kurumi to be the youngest in the group because while yes we have caps like Rain, Uta, Namu, Matsumura, Chiyo who are all younger than Kurumi. I can't remember if Momoji is younger than Kurumi. I don't remember their date specifically. Out of my head, I think they're both meant to be 14, even though the wiki states they're 15. But one chapter confirmed that Kurumi is younger than 15, so I have no idea what's up with that. But regardless, also we know the characters don't. The time isn't passing in this manga. Like that's been referenced multiple times at this point, so you can't even deny it. So yeah, but it does feel like the author really likes Kumi to be the youngest, or at least acting the youngest amongst the groups. And it's not like it's like Suzuka, who's such an adorable little creature perspective. It's just like literally everyone is an older sister. Kurumi is the younger sister, and of course, now Kurumi being in a state where she's very much yes, big sis, yes, big bro, do your best, big sis. State we have not Suzaki. Saki's showing up, and she's like, "Well, if you're gonna be everyone's little sister, that means I'm your big sister." As Kumi's like, yes, big sis, that is the case." As then we have Saki being, "Oh, aren't you just the most adorable kohai?" As as Kurumi's like, "I'm not a kohai, I'm a little sis." So yeah, it's kind of funny how this. So it really just made me wonder if we're gonna have a chapter eventually when we're gonna have like Saki directly trying to make Gumi Kokura as a kohai, because like we had a couple of references to this, like when Saki was introduced as the girlfriends, we had like Kurumi be one of the senpai is that well one of the characters who's just referred to Saki as Saki or something else. They didn't use the like the senpai moniker for her. But then we had like a multiple girlfriends chapter where we had Saki asking, "Wait a minute, why aren't you referring to me as Saki Kurumi Mikohai?" But then you had like Tama and Nadi also not being referred to as senpai. So where who does she refer to as senpai, but some that she doesn't refer to senpai even though they're all old in her? So that has never even been answered. I feel like it's just that the author forgot. I imagine that the author wanted Saki to refer to everyone as well. Kumi wanted everyone to refer as her senior, but then just eventually forgot about that. So the reason why there's a bit of an inconsistency is more because the author couldn't remember. So now he just wants to make it consistent by making it inconsistent about who Kumi refers to as a senpai. So I'm guessing that's the reason why, but we have to wait until the Saki Kurumi chapter to know that for certain. At least I'm guessing we're gonna have a chapter like that. It would just make sense. I mean, for quite a lot, we have, like, I believe from the 100 Girlfriends, like 9 chapters a volume, and we're probably going to get between all of the like special cover, between all of the girlfriends getting in one, well, all the girlfriends duos getting a chapter, a volume, and those special covers that the author makes with them in wedding dresses and in idol outfits, it's guaranteed there's going to be more than enough chapters for at least one, the Kurumi and Saki chapter. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Iko deciding the number, throwing the die, and she throws the die and thinks, all right, like she runs the whole, I will do whatever painful thing I can do. It will be, give me your worst shot. Probably thinking it's gonna be like one of those like super crazy deadly things, but it turns up it's just that like little joke in one of the Hakai and Rento chapters where Renta lost all emotion and all the feelings because like Hakai was like really trying to get him on him, but he just became blank. So Iko's just like, what is pain anyways? And we have like everyone like, wow, the light just went off her faces. Then we have her just kind of sitting, just kind of standing there. And it's kind of like we have like a joke with Hakai just like punching her, and Iko doesn't feel a single thing. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Kiki throwing her numbers like, what abnormal thing I'm going to be getting, as Kiki now walks around, and we find out that the one that she's getting is the Momoha post introduced to the girlfriends chapter where they all gotten drunk. So Kiki now is acting drunk. As we have her then put her hand over Jeremy like, hey, I'm pretty abnormal, huh? Yes, I'm abnormal, huh? Yes, I'm abnormal. As she's kind of flirting with everyone, which, yeah, it's a very funny chapter. It's a very funny reaction. I do kind of want to see more of that. Like, what would she actually do as a drunk? I imagine that drunk Kiki isn't even drunk. Like, I imagine it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you just talks as drunk, nothing more. Like in terms of actual behavior, you would still be normal. But anyways, we're gonna see that side. Anyways, then it's Meryl's turn, and she falls to die, and she lands on the zombie nurse chapter. So she becomes a zombie nurse, which is another like one of those. Actually, her Meryl as a zombie nurse looks pretty fine. Like it looks like I'm not talking fine in terms of like that type. I'm talking more like kind of fitting. It's sort of like Yaku as a surgeon zombie. It's just like a really nice pick for a zombie be from a character to turn into a zombie. So that's probably why Meryl was chosen for this chapter as we have her like approaching Namu as Tsundere Yako is Tsundere Yako, who is basically just an old cranky granny. You were gonna make kids cry with that kind of look, young lady. Get the heck out of those house. Get some proper carving, you dumb child. But Mero is just like Mero tries to like go on Nemo, but Nemo just excited. So as Nemo is just holding the Nemo is just holding Nemo, who's a baby now. Remember, we have a little sheep Nemo. More as she's like just being excited. So scary! Whoa! Because Nemo basically became Rain's partner in horror and all that. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Kusuri's turn as she throws the number. There's like a little visual gag. So I think that's consistent in this chapter is that we have like a lot of the girlfriends who throw the die, and then a girlfriend that's been affecting the last chapter side by side. So like we have Yamame walking in her like beautiful state, and we have like Hakai walking in her villainous stage, and now we have Kusuri pushing Sue as a 2 due to the where she landed. As we have we end up on Meme and Rentaro date where Rentaro was stuffed in a stuffed toy, and now Kusuri is in a stuffed toy, which as you would imagine, with so many babies around them right now, one of the babies is gonna want to play with the stuffed toy, and that's of course Karane. So Kusuri's like, all right, play with me, baby. But unfortunately for Kusuru, this is Karane in her normal body. So all that baby Karane does in this is she grabs stuffed Kusuri and starts slamming it on the ground. Like, boo boo babu. As she slams it, and Kusuri's like, but children these days have no restraint whatsoever, do they? So yeah. Consider this payment for all the nonsense you do on the regular Kusuri. Don't worry, you get used to it. Anyways, then we have Mimi throw a die, and she only gets a 1, which is a beautiful 1. Yes. But then there's a little joke coming from Saki that, yeah, but it's also the lowest number, so I don't think there's anything to be beautiful about. So, anyways, the chapter that Mimi lands on is the chapter where Suze was introduced. So it's the numbers, when they wore those like tight full body suits. So they'll be able to to pose as numbers. So Mimi starts posing as a 2 in that outfit, which is again is not one of those chapter panels which does make you kind of question how the heck is Mimi not a MILF, which although Ento and Meme are getting heart attacks from seeing me posing like that, and Sue's very excited about the posing that Mime makes, so she's like, "Oh, Mime, let's do 2 together!" We have like a 22. So yeah, Sue is very happy about not only being a 2, but also being having someone else to make the numbers even higher, which also probably explains why Me is later a 7. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Ira throwing the die, and she lands on the 4, and Ira's very much like, I can't kick back omens because Japan is again 4 is a bad omen in Japan, so they're scared of that. Which I honestly feel like Japan really tries to avoid number four as much as they can. Like in Chain Soldier, they actively don't have a fourth. Well, they don't actively don't have a fourth division because of the fourth unit, and that's the only explanation that has ever been given is because four is a bad luck number. So that's the reason why there's no four for some reason. Plot twist. The reason why there's no four is because Rin is supposed to be because Rin is horrified at the idea of having bad luck associated with them, and because he is the seven lucky ones. Seven lucky gods and four. I don't know if that's going to be a connect at some point. But anyways, we'll get to Chain Soldier in a little bit. Actually, I think that's exactly after 100 girlfriend speakness, but whatever. But anyways, Era gets in number 4. She's a little horrified by that, and she lands on a chapter that's a swimsuit chapter. The one where there were so many characters in swimsuits that they needed to restrict their words because otherwise there'll just be like a whole box or paragon where everyone was going to be talking and they'll just cover everything and you wouldn't really be able to see anything. So we had enough with that. So Era is in a swimsuit, just being only able to say, "Oh boy." So yeah, and as you might imagine, tiny Momiji sees Ira in this state in her bikini outfit right now, and immediately jumps on the Brazilian ass. You know, a couple of months ago, I think I saw someone commenting how it seems like Nozawa doesn't like asses very much, considering how much we get like boobs and how much we get asses in like comparing the two. But I kind of starting to feel like Nozawa is kind of appreciating asses a little bit more now. Just saying, I feel like there's been a lot more butts in the last couple of chapters comparably to like in the beginning of the series, you know. But anyways, Momoji's on not Era's ass, and Momoji thinks how she should get rid of Momoji right now. I think how she should get rid of Momoji, but it's like, I can't get rid of her. She's too tiny and weak. If I kick her, she'll die. And she starts spinning on the ground, doing her like shtick as Renta is there to catch Momoji from so that she doesn't get crushed or smashed onto the floor. Anyways, after Ira, we didn't have Nano throwing the die. She throws the die, and we get like a surprisingly low number from Nano. It's a 7, I believe, which kept like, wow, that really isn't what you would expect from Nano because you know Nano is so robotic. Well, is moving in such a robotic way that you kind of think that she would get always high numbers. But this time she didn't. But Nano doesn't really get that's what they were referencing because not no says I threw the die, so obviously I'm going. So every die I get, it's gonna be mine. Now I understand it's because you would think they would have like a high number, although to be fair, this is a Mario made dice, so it's probably likely that even if she did, even if it was like the only way possible that you could get a non-number, it's 100. I wouldn't be surprised. So if this is like revealed to be a thing later, like Rentaro, whoever's the last one throws a die, and it's going to be the exact number that's going to be last. Like I imagine it's gonna be like 11 or like 33 until they would manage to get to it. They won't be able to match it because it's only 10. And then Rentaro was like, I believe we'll be able to. And then he gets like on 100 or something, on 200 or something. But anyways, we'll get that in the next chapter. But Nano's gimmick now is gonna be that she landed on the Suzuka's mother two-parter. So the first chapter of that two-parter. So Nano now acts in charade. So that's at least she got the easy one out of that chapter because if you know that chapter, you could have gotten far worse. Probably depression from the fact that her mother beats her or something. But regardless, Nano is in like this is a mistake. Okay, as she charades to them that it's cute when someone like Shizuka does it, but to me it's just lame. But then Kat was like, oh no, the charades are making you look beautiful as well. Like, you're usually stoic and serious personalities. We have very good contrast to communicating through charades. So, anyways, after Nano, we then have Kishika's turn, the final turn of the girlfriends in this chapter, as we have Kishika throw her die, and she lands on Tama's introduction chapter, which then transforms Kishika into a cat. Like, she does the whole, like. Okay, Kishika's kind of a weird thing because she has, like. It seems like she has, like, that oversized. That oversized coat shit that no not coat that over those like very warm coats shirts they have that Tama wears, but then it looks like she has like real paws for hands, and she even talks like a cat now, and she was kind of surprised like what the heck is up with this form? What the heck am I? As then Tama As you remember in the last chapter, Tama got into heat of her mating season, as Momora says it, and Tama's just like, cat pile with Tama meow. As then we have Tama and Kishika holding each other, as we have Kishika like going into Tama's breast because her baby personality is taking over, while Tama's getting her, I guess, her lust out. Cat pile was the win here. As then we cut to the end of the chapter, as we have like a bit of a span out from what all the girlfriends have been doing after they got transformed. Like we have drunk Kiki trying to be called abnormal by Kurumi, as Kurumi is just kind of very blushing and be like, "Big sis, please stop this." As we have Karani next to using Rain to club at Iku, as Iku doesn't feel anything, as well as Meru biting into Iku. We have Mimi posing as a 7. We have Kishika acting like a cat baby on Kusuri's lap, who's stuffed in the toy, and we have Momoa crying that she wants to have a drink of alcohol, while Nao's like, no alcohol, you are an 8-year-old now. And Era is telling Kiki to drink some water, like, drink water, because, she's acting drunk. So, yeah, as then we have Captain being like, wait a minute, we're making this this insanity into a free-parter, regardless of how much our fans can handle our insanity, this is just getting ridiculous. As Winter tries to assure everyone, this is nothing. It's only logical that we make this into a three-parter. After all, this is our celebration of 200 chapters, of season 2 of 100 Girlfriends being around the corner, of the 20th volume being released. This was necessary. As then Kurumi just does a straight man act. It's like, well, if this is supposed to be a celebration for all those stews, then we should probably make this into a two-parter as well, big bro. Well, she doesn't say it out loud. She says like, then there should be a two-part as well, big bro. So it's kind of very funny. Well, like, I mean, it's also meant to kind of show us why Kurumi is a tsundere. Like, she calls them big brothers and big sisters, but she doesn't do. So she doesn't a very okay. Yes, big bro. Yes, big sis. Please. Yes, of course, big sis. Kind of like very quiet way. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that the author likes Kurumi as the youngest, to be sure the youngest amongst the characters, even if she's not by any means. So yeah, anyways, after this peakness that is 100 girlfriends, it's time we go into Chain Soldier. I don't want to insult Chain. I have no reason to insult Chain Soldier, but I mean, okay. My criticism could go for this arc. This is definitely one of the low points in the story in terms of arcs. This I wouldn't be surprised this would be considered at some point probably the worst arc in a Chain Soldier. But I don't. But as a series itself, I mean, it's not comparable to 100 Girlfriends, but whatever. So, anyways, we start. Actually, now I think about it, having peakness that is Rentaro being with definitely a controversial protagonist that is Yuki, it actually kind of makes sense. It's kind of those two sides of the same coin. But yeah, anyways, let's get into Chain Soldier chapter 147, titled "The Final Move." I'm pretty sure what this chapter is referring to with the final move should be applied to something that we don't even fully understand or even know of. It's kind of like I'll get into it, but let's just say this title, I'm 9 times that if I just miswrote or something. Okay, anyways, we start this chapter off with Meru apologizing to Tanka because remember in the last chapter, Mira. I am too many names. Mira in the last chapter interrupted Tanka's speech and to declare she's dropping off from the race and giving her support to Kyoka. So now she wants to apologize to Tanka for interrupting her, but Tanka says that what Mira just said has changed her stance, so she's just gonna be keeping quiet now. It's fine. You essentially made my words unnecessary. So yeah. Anyways, and after that we get what I can only describe is the author realizing that Kyoka's stance is absolutely empty because Kyoka now stands up and says, then if this is over with, I should say this. I have a plan against the Thunder Gods. I don't have that finalized, but I do have a strategy that we can do. I have a defensive strategy that can help against them. I would like everyone here to hear it. As we then I'm guessing here about off screen. I'm guessing it's going to be explained later. It's probably supposed to be like one of those things where it's like kept unknown until like the moments where it's gonna be sprung. But that's about it. Like I can only describe this being the reason why we are having this mentioned here and not being explained is because they also realized that Kyoka's stanza is like. Alright, the way that Kyoka always sounds makes it sound like is her plan just to like go around, hit dig every single area in Meito? Like, what exactly is her plan? Because remember, she says we cannot trust the gods of thunder. I fought them multiple times, and I can tell you that they plan to destroy us indefinitely. So we need to go against them. We cannot let them. We can't give them any kind of movement. We have to strike at them, but she doesn't really have any. But she doesn't really give how. But she doesn't get the how. Like she never says it. So I guess this is like supposed to kind of fix that by having her at least saying that she does have a plan. Which I wanna say that is alright. We're finally getting a video, but the fact is like the first time that it's even being brought up makes me feel like it's just someone. Or maybe an editor or someone who the author is talking with told him, how exactly does, without an actual plan, Kyoka's words come out very, very lame, just kind of, she's saying it for the sake of saying it kind of thing, like she doesn't really have a solution, so I'm kind of getting the feeling that's what's going on here, but I don't know. I don't want to be mean or anything. It's just, especially since the author says this isn't supposed to be taken as seriously as the Akama got killed, but seeing it just being brought up like this really gives me the idea it was just someone told or pointed out to him that Kyoka doesn't really have a solution. She just wants something. But anyways, then after we got away from this discussion, we then have the character. Then have Mira and Kyoka talk about it as Kyoka thanks Mira for dropping out, and also brings up Fubuki. As Mia confirms, yeah, she was in discussions with Fubuki, which it would be better we actually saw them, but whatever, especially not saying how I'll get into this wing for this later. So, anyways, Mira talks with says that there was no finalization, but now she's definitely not going to go for me but there's also no guarantee that she's going to go for you. So you probably, so I will help you with the talks, but don't think that me going with you is a guarantee for Buka going for you. But I do have ways you could probably get Konami on your side, which I'll get into it. So yeah, anyways, Kyoka thanks me for that. As then we got to we didn't have a panel where essentially all the non-Ran chiefs are kind of like checking out Yuki to see how he is doing with all the gods. Like you have Azu looking into it, be like, I'm not really sensing much difference from you, anything like that. As Yuki says, yes, I rarely feel them, but sometimes I do feel them. I'm guessing he's referring to the whole blessings things. That and probably when they are doing the Benki Benki. So, yeah. Yeah, she says that it doesn't really matter. And then we get to, like, basically a bunch of the captains just being like, don't worry, we'll support you, we'll stay by your side, you just stay you, and you use this power to help us, operations. So, yeah, we have that. Like we have Fubuki being very motherly to him. We have Battle and Konomi. We like, don't worry, we'll support you, and that. As then we have we have Yuki saying, okay, I almost confused Rento and Yuki together. But regardless, we have Yuki saying, oh, all the chiefs are so nice. Kinda ironic considering Iran, but whatever. I guess it's meant to like. I'm not idea where exactly we're going with Ryan. Is she going to be a full antagonist, or she's just going to be someone that's going to like eventually have a change of ways? But we have to wait and see on that front. But anyway, season goes into after everyone says their part. We then have Azu be like, "Oh, by the way, Yuki, you want to finalize my vote for Kyoka, correct?" As Yuki's like, "Yes," but then he's like, "Well, in that case, you better work." As she lifts her shirt up, showing her breasts and her bra and all that. As Yuki's like, "Kyoka specifically stated all of me." I mean, not to fall into such depravity. If she's gonna get a vote from you, it's gonna be from merit, not from this type of stuff. So I guess that's the reason why why this was not said to be an option, because it would be not a proper way to win a vote. again, I feel like it's like one of those editors pointed out, like, why isn't this ever an option in this arc? But whatever. So Yuki doesn't get it. So Azusa is not going to be voting based on that. Which, oh, I think it's the right time to talk about the swing voters. This week, as much as these chapters try to make characters like Ifubuki, Konami, and Azu look like very significant votes, they really are not. Like, this chapter is the first time where it feels like someone actually tries to get Azu and Fubuki's vote. Like, where we have, like, Azu point out, I'm very lustful. If you want to satisfy my lust, I'll definitely vote for Kyoka. And it's like the first time. Like, this. I mean, there was, I guess you can consider their first talk between Kyoka and Azu for it, but it really doesn't feel like it, especially since Azu's vote is kind of like, or she's probably just gonna vote for Ran for the sake of, you know, for the sake of there being tension. Because if the final tally will probably be five, five, 5-4, because otherwise it would be probably 6-3 or something. But it really does, despite how important they have to do it, they don't really talk with them. Like, I don't think we even had a chapter where Kyoka talked with Konomi. I mean, there was multiple references towards it, like Yuki telling Kyonoma to go talk with Kyoka if she's not certain. There's also mention of Konomi giving Kyoka some advice on how to talk with Konomi. But I don't think we've actually had a moment where Kyoka talked with Konomi. I think when we got like those at the beginning of the arc, we had Yoka going to all of the chiefs to see where their votes are going to go, or if they're going to participate in the competition or not. I don't think Kyoka ever approached Konomi. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think she ever talked to her during this portion of the story. And honestly, with the way this chapter ends, it seems like if they are going to talk, it's going to be a flashback type of thing. So Konomi's vote, despite how important it is, it really doesn't feel like that important. Fubuki as well, like she's kind of like the one that could be considered like an either or. And to be fair, Ren does finally talk to Fubuki. I guess she never thought that Fubuki would go against her for some reason, or at least she thought. I am not entirely certain why she was so certain about Fubuki's vote going to her or something. But Ren does finally at least try to go against will go to get Fubuki on her side. It's probably like one of those things where, she thought that there was such a guarantee that she was going to get 3 votes, but now with Kyoka getting guaranteed 3 votes, she's now finally going to have to, get the support from others, and she considered Fubuki to be the easiest one because she can offer something to Fubuki. But again, it's not like we've seen that much talk from Fubuki, and I don't even think Ren was ever an option until literally this chapter in terms of being big. I think when she was talking about to her mother, I think she just mentioned Mira and Kyoka. Like, she has a lot of reasons to want to vote for Kyoka, but she thinks that Mira won her over more. So it's kind of a weird thing where it's like she wasn't really ever in favor of Ren to begin with. And then we have Azu, who's this entire time I really don't like. That's the thing. I know Azu's supposed to be a face bearer and all, but it really doesn't feel like she was that strong on anything. The only reason why she actually even said, "Oh, I'll probably vote for Ran because of the way she takes care of my sisters," but that's really it from Azu in terms of like selecting. I really don't see why we later were going to have Azu vote not for Ran. Like, by all accounts, Azu's stance hasn't changed. This entire week of discussion, all that essentially, Azu might as well not even ban the meetings the way this is explained or at least shown to us. So, despite how much they talk about these 3 will be the deciding factor, it really doesn't feel like they are. It really just feels like these 3 are being talked like they're putting the roles of swing votes because, let's be straight up honest to ourselves, otherwise all this panic about Run being unstoppable would just be empty. But whatever, I guess. I'm pretty sure that I said this in the last chapter as well, but it's just still so annoying how this arc really seems to like force this tension just for the sake of being tension. But anyway, especially if Ryan's gonna do some BS reason why she doesn't lose. Like, I can totally see there being like revealed that there was some kind of cheating behind, or something is gonna be done to like keep Brian power, because I really don't think Kyoka would do, especially unless it's revealed that Kyoka actively plans on tricking the gods into a ceasefire. Like, oh, we are tricked. Like, we are actually just like a thing where Kyoka is like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have them come here to this meeting if they want a ceasefire. Whatever plans they have, whatever trickery, they are definitely going to at least have to all come there, saying like, if you want a peace, a ceasefire, you all five of you need to show up here. And then they're probably going to have to confirm the appearances of them because, assuming, actually, that would probably make sense. Get the old chief, the chief that was before Kyoka from the seventh unit, confirm all the gods look like. They invite all those five there with confirmations, since I don't think the gods know if that she survived, but confirm their appearances, and then strike at them when they are all in there when they have the time, because the gods will not think that they are being attacked right now. Maybe that's where we're going here, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on that. I'm just kind of speculating here at this point. So yeah, unless if it's gonna be like that, Kyoka's plan is essentially just, well, if that's the thing. The gods' plan, we know plan B for the gods if the ceasefire does not work, and that is just hide and wait until the day of unification or whatever that day was called. That's literally their plan. Fucking high on the ground. So who the heck? So it really doesn't. So I don't really see why. So Kyoka being in charge doesn't really make sense in that from that perspective. But unless if she plans on drowning them out in this trick or the farce of a ceasefire. So yeah. Anyways, after this conversation, we then cut to Ran trying to get Fubuki to work for her, as we have the two of them going to this part-time, as Ran is like, I'm planning on becoming a prime minister, so when one of you are gonna be able to become next chiefs, it's gonna be after I leave, which means that the position of the chief could go into one of your daughters, aka making your family much stronger. So, what do you say? So, Fubuka merely sees what Ran is doing here. She knows what what Fubuki wants to hear here, and she's being given this, which I really hope this means that Fubuki is. I mean, how much delivery on the promises is this actually going to be for Fubuki's perspective? I do question, because like it's referenced by Fubuki's mother that whenever the politicians want to get involved with Meito, they always end up doing something risky. It always ends up backfiring, and then they are surprised that they don't get what they want. So I do have to wonder if Fubuki would be convinced by Ran being the prime minister, putting one of her daughters as chief is going to be a good result, especially since Ran being the prime minister would probably just try to get even more control of Meito. Like, Ran was actively joking about, oh, maybe I should be able to hold, consider how great I am. I would probably be able to hold the position of chief and prime minister at the same time. Ha ha ha. So I really do question if helping Ran here would really benefit anyone. But we're gonna have to see where this is going. I think this is just it for the sake of having stakes. Anyways, after we have this little scene, we then cut to Kyoka and Yuki's moment, as we have Kyoka being a bit angry at the fact that the Yuki revealed all that and he didn't even talk to her about it. As Yuki reveals, it was actually more of a sporadic decision. It was mostly, I at the moment realized it, so I want to say it right now because it's very close by and it's far better that we say it now where where the rest can still form their opinions. So that's the reason why he said that, and Kyoka is very well. She understands why. She does believe towards that, and her hatred. And Yuki probably understands the reason why how little this alliance actually makes sense way more than the rest, and like even she herself probably does because she actually can feel them. But whatever. Anyways, after that we then have Kyoka saying, "Oh, you've not been doing a lot of things on your own for my sake, without even needing my slave power at all. So how should I reward you?" And you see where this is kind of going. As Yuki then says, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Just getting your slave rewards is good enough for me. I don't need special treatment." Which, okay, this has been a bit of a controversy when the leak or when the Ross came out for this chapter, because some of the translators got the idea of he's fine being her slave, or like very much like he's, don't worry, I'm fine just being your loyal little slave. I don't want anything more. Kind of making Yuki feel more and more like he's less of a character and more, he's just sort of there now. Because remember, the way the story was started was very much Yuki was the protagonist. It's not like a comment Tatsuki where you can probably debate. Well, I think it's like a thing with adaptation. Like I think the anime made Tatsuki look a lot more like a protagonist than the manga. In the manga, Akame is a lot more clearly the protagonist of the story. But here in Chain Soldier, it's a lot more clear Yuki is meant to be the protagonist. But in recent chapters, in recent arcs, Yuki kind of feels the least character-like. He definitely feels a lot more given to a side. Like if there's important discussions when it comes to getting votes, Yuki is not present. He's somewhere else, telling everyone, "Don't worry, Kyoka will win because it's her. Once she puts her mind towards it, he's just kind of hyping her, which is fine. He has a high opinion of her, but he has to develop a bit more individuality. Not to mention, it doesn't help the fact that we spend multiple chapters foreshadowing and building up the hype towards this god's blessing, and then when it's finally being used, it's like a just sort of, like I said, underwhelming panel where he just punches Ren. Like, this isn't even about, like, power scaling or, doing damage. I'm talking, like, just him standing up and punching her for a second. That's it. I mean, I would at least understand if there was, like, a cool, like, main characters walking panels were more impressive than Yuki getting God's powers and punching this, what's, from for what we know of we don't know about Taikyo, we don't know about God's mother character, but for a character who's being built up as the strongest human, or is very much the strongest human, you would kind of think that he would have a bit more of an impact on the attack, you know. So, anyways, Yuki's character is kind of like one of those very like he's kind of getting very bland and very like he kind of is losing his individuality. Yet it's supposed to feel like he's not, but he kind of is. So the way I am, Yuki is not really interesting right now. I really do get the impression that the author really doesn't want to focus on Yuki, or at least he lost interest in Yuki, and now just kind of wants to focus on the hot babes, which I have to agree. But I get the priorities, but it's kind of disappointing that Yuki's gap is going so downhill. But yeah, anyways, we then after the statement by Kyoka by Yuki that he's happy just getting the rewards from his life transformation as normal. Yoka, we basically get the declaration of love. Like we have her removing her like hairpin that's supposed to symbolize a lot of her pride and all that type of stuff, as she expresses her. She doesn't directly say "I love you, Yuki," but it's very much along those lines. She goes for a kiss and says, "It's just instinct now." It's very it's very clear these two are romantically involved. She loves him, he loves her. He acts a little oblivious, a little too much oblivious towards what she's really saying, but it's very clear two of them. It is very much supposed to be a romantic scene. Which makes the harem ending people very pissed off. Which when you actually think about it, this is probably gonna be like the biggest. I won't want to say Yuki's gonna be cheating on Kyoka, but when you really break it down, it's gonna make a weird thing where Yuki's gonna, unless if the gods get freed from Yuki's inner world and then they gotta live their lives normally, they're kind of implying, they're kind of saying up in a way where Yuki will never be a loyal husband to Kyoka, regardless of how much he would want to be a loyal husband to Kyoka. I mean, granted, maybe it's not gonna be like maybe it may do anything. It disappears at the end of the story, and Yuki and Kyoko will just have a normal relationship and all. But it's kind of like a weird thing where I do this version is kind of weird because this series kind of is happening a very like harem way ending, but it's very clear that Yuki is supposed to be loving and ending up with Kyoko at the end. So kind of a weird thing here, but whatever. It's a declaration of love, as then we then get to a couple of panels that's supposed to just kind of show us characters talking, discussing. Like we have Ren talking with Azu, and she's kind of getting annoyed with Azu. Sure, continue with your fetish. Yes, that's so good. Ha ha ha. We have, I think, Kyoka talking with Fubuki. We have Konomi meditating on who she should be deciding to vote for, with her master next to her being like, I wonder what she's considering. As then we get to the meeting with between Tenka and Valvera for how the election goes, and they're like, all right, we are in the final stages. We're in the final stage now. We've talked. We essentially did everything we did. We studied all that we could and talked with everyone we could talk to. Now all that's left is for them to decide on their own. Yep. Yes, you talked with a lot of people, Kyoko-sama, no, but Duran did as well. So it's a 50-50 now about who's gonna vote for who. As Kyoka's in like, oh yes, but there's still someone else that I need to talk to. As Kyoka assumed tells Tenka and Valvera who she's talking to, and the two of them are surprised by this person. Isn't the one I was referring to in the beginning is that Kyoka is in the end of the chapter goes talk to someone, but we don't know who it is. It's supposed to be like one of those annoying moments in these chapters where they are setting something up like, oh, this big thing is happening. Who could we go and talk to? But then it's the reveal itself is kind of just underwhelming. Again, no reasons why I'm not a fan of this last couple of chapters in this arc because there's a lot of like that, like a lot of oh moments, but it's usually a very underwhelming reveal. So, who is she going to talk to? She's either gonna go talk. Maybe she's gonna go talk to Ryan one last time to at least try to like not lose everything because Ryan said that she would take Yuki as a slave, so maybe it's to try to get Yuki out of that situation. Maybe she's gonna go talk to one of the two politicians because the defense administrator, I believe, was threatened by. We actually figured out that the defense administrator was threatened by Ryan most likely. So she wants to like encourage her to like put her heart on it, but not ba- based on how scary Ran is. Maybe she's gonna go talk with that uh, the one that Valera called a fanatic for Ran. Maybe she's gonna go talk to her, or maybe she's gonna talk with the Onmo agency to like learn what exactly are they planning to do with Yuki. After all, all right, we'll go along and not change you guys, but what exactly are you planning to do with him? Like, what kind of experiments are we talking here? I mean, you've proven your incompetence when you really break it down. Like, that's the thing. If I was there, I would probably just. Okay, if I was at a meeting, I would really just call the. When the whole revelation came out about the Almond, I would just comment. So, Onmo agency is filled with idiots who don't understand that if you mistreat people, they're gonna want to leave you. So that's basically what you're telling us. Just kind of go with that angle. Kind of wish Azza would be the one to say it because most of us have a bit more class, but as I feel like we just call him stupid. So yeah. Anyways, it's gonna be one of them, or it's gonna be my wild take, and it's gonna be that former seventh unit one to like confirm to see or checking up on the seventh former chief to see if she can like confirm to them the appearances. I don't know. We have to wait and see who they're talking about. Any one of these makes sense, and I'm assuming there's not gonna be nothing groundbreaking from it. I really don't understand why they are keeping this such a mystery. Why they're making this such a moment where really all of these are logical options. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, I guess they are at least not disappointing options. At least make sense to be talked to instead of like someone like Konami again or something. But whatever. Anyways, we end this chapter off with the final page being the day of the day where they vote has been chosen. So I'm assuming the next chapter is either gonna be some kind of flashback with Ryoka's talk with Konomi, or the gods, so final talk with Yuki, or us with any who Kyoka has been talking to. I'm kind of if it actually now I think about it, it's very likely to either be Bell or the defense minister. Still consider the fact they're kind of like building up talking to, and I really don't see why they would have to make it a mystery until next chapter if it's gonna be revealed at the beginning. But whatever, we're gonna have to find out in a couple of chapters. Hopefully not taking too long, unlike Tenka's whole reveal. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of the chapter, and then we get to the final chapter of the week with Chainsaw Man Chapter 188 titled Octopus War Chainsaw. So I think we all know who the octopus is. When Danji starts barfing out a person, because the first panel I think is full of a person who is wearing a suit and and not stylish shoes. As Danji barfs out, and it turns out the person that he barfed out was Yoshida, because he has a contract with Octopus Devil, and I'm assuming that's the reason why he was in Danji's stomach, because the Chainsaw Devil ate him. Well, that's like I know Yoshida used his octopus against him, and I think it was stated that in one chapter that he ate the octopus. Now, but I don't think we actually see him eating Yoshida. So I guess Yoshida was gulped up with the octopus devil with him. Was it like a thing where he eats a devil, and the humans that will contract with those devils, they can then be spawned out of out of Chainsaw Devil's stomach? It's like one of those things, but I don't really know what. I'm not exactly entirely certain what exactly, but anyways, we then have Yoshida being puked out, as we have the characters be kind of surprised by this, as Yoshida's like, what's the situation? Listen, like Yoshida's kind of quick to like keep up, okay, what the hell is the situation? Explain, give me a mission briefing immediately. As then we have the characters, well, we have Asa being like, hey, you're the bastard who caught my hand, in my arms, as the guy's like, well, looks like your arms regrew. And she's like, my arms regrowing doesn't change the fact that you cut them off. So yeah. As then we have him asking where exactly are they, as Danji tells him that, oh, they are in the world of they are in aging devil's world, and they can't get out of here, as then as then as then Usually asks for more information, and he's then told by Angie that apparently there's a contract with the aging devil that if he gets eaten by Chainsaw Man while he watches children getting killed, he's gonna the contract he's gonna stop the aging or something. Well, he doesn't say to stop the aging, but at least that's the plan with Danji also making a joke about the aging devil being a bit of a pervert because he kind of wants to be eaten while watching children kill themselves. So it's kind of like it's a creepy and messed up way to view it, but that's kind of like a fetish at some point. So yeah, that's what Danji says. As then usually it's quickly to be like, huh. Now, considering what you just told me, it sounds very likely the Public Safety Commission is involved in all this. So I'm not really aligned to go against this plan necessarily, but I do see that we need to escape together, so we'll escape. Which makes me now wonder if Yoshida is not aware of this plan, which I'm guessing that was going on here. I feel like he would probably know about the aging devil and the plan to get them out. I mean, I think he even put this. If I remember correctly, he was the one that was actually making there to confirm the disappearance of the ear devil. Like that was the whole point with him. So it's kind of a weird thing how apparently he doesn't seem to be aware of it, unless if Fujiyama, that was the name, right? Fujiyama was the one that took in charge of this whole thing, since she was the one at the conference meeting with all the with all the government officials. So it's kind of a weird thing that Yoshida doesn't know anything about this. I mean, that's at least the impression. He seems like he actively has to figure out why they are here, why the aging devil is involved. So it's kind of a weird thing, but whatever. He then agrees, saying, "All right, we'll be enemies once we leave here, but right now let's call it a truce, and we'll be able to get off here." As then Asa Asa is still pissed about getting her arms cut off, and also questions like, what can he even do? How can he help us escape? As we then have us trying to punch him, but Yoshida just quickly grabs. Well, Yoshida does apologize now because he needs to get them into a truce very quickly. So he's like, "I'm sorry about taking your arms off." I was like, "You think this will make me forgive you this quickly?" Not too much, and does also because they regrew. But he just holds her by hand back. As we handshaking on this, as then he wants Danji's hand to handshake as well, but then she doesn't want to, but he does relent and be like, fine, we all get out of here. Then no, a situation where we do need to join forces and work together to get out of here. So Nanji agrees towards it, and then Yoshida. But then also still like, what can he? How can he help us? Because Octopus Devil cannot really help in this situation, and he's just a human. So is he benefiting us? Like why would Puchita consider him useful? But it seems like Yoshida already has a plan on how to get out of here. As Yoshida asked Danji, did you? So if I understand correctly, you have the stomach of the devils and you can puke them out here, correct? Danji basically, he doesn't say, but he very much agrees towards it. Says yes, that is how it operates. So in that case, Danji, will you let me shove my hand down your throat? I'm not entirely certain what Yoshida is planning here. Like, I know this is meant to be like one of those shocking or weird ways to end a chapter, but I really do have to question on some of the logics here. Like, I mean, it's not even like a thing where I'm hating it being used, but it feels like for the last couple of chapters, we had characters ending on having some kind of plan, but it's always in some like really weird terms. Like, I know, I guess it's the charm of the Chainsaw Man manga, but it's just kind of a weird thing where we have like multiple of the same type of endings. Again, a weird connection between Chain Soldier and Chainsaw Man, where we have like a lot of repeats in terms of what they do in chapters, but whatever. Anyways, it's kind of a weird thing with how they have to end it like with that. But I'm guessing that he's gonna actively be looking for devils in Chainsaw Man's stomach, or maybe the idea is like throwing chains devils outside of into the outside world, like throwing some kind of devil that would destroy aging devil quickly, or maybe the idea is like climbing out of the Puchita's body, like, all right, let's get into chainsaw bodies. We'll get out from Puchita's body. We'll then obliterate the aging devil, and then we'll just turn Danji back into a human, and everything's gonna be fine or something. I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Yeah, like maybe once they destroy the aging devil fully, they'll be able to. In that brief time that the aging devil is gonna be. Well, I don't know how long. I don't know if there was ever stay how long devils take to like get reborn in the hell, because I think it was that like what it was pretty much confirmed. Once you kill a devil, they travel into a different world. Like if you kill the devil in hell, they travel into Earth. If you kill a devil in Earth, they travel to hell. So it's kind of like a that kind of cycle in terms of killings. Or I mean, there are other ways you can get to it. It's like devils can get there normally, but that's like one of the ways they can travel across. So maybe that's kind of the logic. Like in that brief time where aging devil is gonna be killed and reincarnating in the hell, we have Danji be able to escape from that world. I mean, I'm assuming the aging devil who wasn't actually destroyed for a while. Like they said how long and old everything is there, but really, how many devils could actually kill an aging devil? I don't think it was ever straight up said that aging devil was destroyed previously. So yeah. But anyways, that's the end of the chapter, and we're gonna have to wait until I'm assuming not next week, but probably a little bit afterwards, because this chapter came out close to weekdays, and the chapter comes out during these holidays. Then there's a break afterwards, So I'm guessing there's gonna be a break here, even if like that's there's more a Japan thing, because One Piece chapter came out before. One Piece chapter came out before the holidays, but then it didn't get translated on Wiz, but it's probably gonna be translated this week. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you liked this video. I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.